Imagine a world where you could turn your greatest adversary into your greatest ally. This is the world of stress management. In the hustle and bustle of our modern lives, stress has become an unwelcome but constant companion, often wreaking havoc on our physical well-being. It's a silent enemy. Its effects are profound and pervasive, influencing everything from our heart to our skin, our brain to our digestive system. But stress doesn't have to be the villain of this story. Like any formidable opponent, it has its weaknesses. And by understanding these, we can learn to mitigate its harmful impacts and turn it into a force for our personal growth. In this journey, we will explore the complex biology of stress, the damage it can inflict on our bodies, and most importantly, the practical ways to counteract these effects. Stay tuned as we take a deep dive into the world of stress and how it affects our bodies. Our bodies have a unique way of responding to stress. Let's decode this process. Imagine you're a prehistoric human. You're out foraging when suddenly, a wild beast appears. Your heart starts racing, your senses sharpen, your muscles tense up. This is your body's stress response kicking in, a survival mechanism designed to help you fight or flee from danger. Fast forward to the modern day, and our stressors aren't wild beasts anymore, but work deadlines, traffic jams, or a global pandemic. Yet our bodies still respond in the same way. Two key players in this response are hormones called cortisol and adrenaline. Cortisol, often known as the stress hormone, ramps up sugars in your bloodstream, curbs functions that would be non-essential in a fight or flight situation, and enhances your brain's use of glucose and the availability of substances that repair tissues. Then we have adrenaline, which increases your heart rate, elevates your blood pressure, and boosts energy supplies. This response is brilliant and effective in the short term. But what happens when our wild beasts aren't momentary threats, but ongoing stresses that keep our bodies in this heightened state of alert? Well, the prolonged exposure to cortisol and adrenaline can lead to a host of health issues. An excess of adrenaline can lead to sleep problems, anxiety, and even heart disease. High levels of cortisol can lead to weight gain, high blood pressure, and can even disrupt your sleep, mood, and memory functions. When it comes to our immune system, cortisol functions as a built-in alarm system. But when it's constantly on alert due to chronic stress, it can leave our bodies more vulnerable to infections and diseases. So it's not just about feeling stressed out or overwhelmed. The chemical cascade triggered by stress can have serious implications for our physical health, affecting everything from our heart to our brain to our immune system. As we can see, the chemical response to stress can have a far-reaching impact on our health. But don't worry, there are ways to break this cycle, and that's where we're heading next. Stay tuned. Stress doesn't just affect our mood, it takes a toll on our organs too. It's a silent infiltrator, seeping into the nooks and crannies of our body, wreaking havoc where least expected. Let's start with the heart. The persistent surge of adrenaline during periods of stress causes the heart to work overtime, leading to high blood pressure and increased risk of heart disease. Picture a marathon runner who never gets a chance to rest. That's your heart under chronic stress. The story isn't much different for the brain either. Ever heard of the term stress brain? That's because stress can shrink the prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain responsible for memory and learning. It's akin to trying to store your favorite books in a room that keeps getting smaller. Then, there's the digestive system. Stress can trigger or worsen conditions like irritable bowel syndrome and heartburn. It's as if your stomach is on a roller coaster ride, but the ride never ends. And let's not forget the skin. Stress can accelerate the aging process, leading to premature wrinkles. Think of it as a clock that's running faster than it should. Now, let's humanize these examples. Picture John, a high-powered executive who is constantly under stress. His physician recently diagnosed him with hypertension, a stress-induced condition. Or consider Lisa, a college student who's been dealing with stress-related acne and digestive issues due to exam stress. These stories are not unique. They mirror the experiences of countless individuals grappling with the physical manifestations of stress. It's a silent epidemic, occurring right under our noses. However, it's not all doom and gloom. Understanding how stress affects our body is the first step towards managing it effectively. By recognizing the signs and taking proactive steps, we can mitigate the effects of stress on our organs. It's about time we started treating stress as a physical health issue, not just a mental one. Clearly, the stress we experience mentally can manifest physically in surprising ways. Stress isn't just a physical issue, it has a powerful impact on our mental health. Picture this: you're constantly in a state of high alert, your mind racing with worry, your heart pounding. This is the reality for many when stress takes a psychological toll, manifesting as anxiety or depression. It's like a shadow that follows you around, an invisible struggle that only you can truly understand. Our mental wellness is intricately tied to how we perceive and deal with stress. Professionals in the field of mental health have seen firsthand how chronic stress can lead to cognitive decline over time, impacting memory and concentration. It's a silent battle, one that's often overlooked in our hustle and bustle of life. Remember, your mental well-being is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Just as you wouldn't ignore a physical wound, don't ignore the effects of stress on your mind. Mental health is as important as physical health, and stress affects both. Now that we understand the issues, how can we break this cycle of stress? The answer lies in the resilience of the human spirit and the many tools we have at our disposal. Let's start with lifestyle changes. It seems simple, but small tweaks in our daily routine can have profound effects on our stress levels. Regular physical activity, for instance, can help lower the levels of stress hormones in our body and trigger the release of endorphins, our body's natural mood lifters. Then there's nutrition. A balanced diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains, can fuel our body to better cope with the strains of stress. And let's not forget about sleep. A good night's rest can significantly rejuvenate our mind and body, making us less susceptible to the adverse effects of stress. Now, let's move on to mindfulness practices. Mindfulness is about being present in the moment, focusing on our breath, our body, and our surroundings without judgment. Practices such as meditation, yoga, or even simple breathing exercises can help us cultivate mindfulness, allowing us to respond to stress more calmly and thoughtfully. Another powerful tool in our stress management arsenal is social connection. Building strong, supportive relationships can provide us with a sense of belonging and security, buffering us against life's stressors. And finally, it's important to remember that it's okay to seek help. Therapists, counselors, and other mental health professionals are equipped with a variety of techniques to help us manage stress effectively. They can provide us with personalized coping strategies and help us navigate the path to a healthier, less stressed life. Expert tips and suggestions can provide additional guidance. Perhaps it's about setting boundaries at work, practicing gratitude, or developing a positive self-talk routine. The key is to find what works best for you. And remember, every small step counts. Breaking the cycle of stress is possible, and the first step is understanding how to do it. So let's take that step together towards a healthier, happier life. Before we end this journey, let's recap the key insights we've gathered. We've explored the multifaceted damages stress can impart on our bodies, both physically and mentally. We've learned that stress triggers a chemical cascade releasing hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Long-term exposure to these stress hormones can wreak havoc on our health, leading to cardiovascular issues and compromised immune function. We've delved into how stress impacts specific organs: the heart, the brain, our digestive system, and even our skin. Through real-life examples, we've humanized the experience of stress-related health challenges, making it clear that no one is immune to the effects of stress. We also highlighted the hidden struggles, the mental health implications of stress, such as anxiety, depression, and cognitive decline. The testimony from mental health professionals underscored the profound connection between our minds and our bodies. But we didn't stop there. We turned the narrative towards resilience and coping mechanisms. We showcased the power of lifestyle changes, mindfulness practices, and other strategies to not only manage stress, but transform it into a source of strength. We integrated expert insights, practical tips, and advice from healthcare professionals, psychologists, and fitness experts. Their knowledge and expertise added depth and credibility to our understanding of stress and its management. We shared inspiring transformations, tales of individuals who've turned the tide against stress through lifestyle changes and stress management techniques. Their stories serve as a beacon of hope that change is not only possible, but within our reach. In conclusion, stress is an undeniable part of our lives, yet it's vital to recognize its impact on our overall well-being and take proactive steps to manage it. It's not about eliminating stress entirely, but learning to navigate it effectively. Remember, stress is a part of life, but it doesn't have to control your life. Take steps to manage your stress and transform it into strength. If you've learned something from this video, please subscribe, like, and share this video.